Jamahl, just how did that one shift? It looked like Detroit closed out the second quarter fairly strong, but obviously there was a second half. What changed for you guys to not to be able to come back like that?
First of all, I want to talk about our guys' effort and their energy in the game, whether shots were falling or not. These guys laid it all on the line in this game, and that's what that's all you've asked them to do. Again, and that's part of being able to coach this group, that they found a way to fight no matter what the circumstances. And that's the one thing that I want to say I'm appreciative of most of all for these guys. That second quarter, couple empty possessions, couple misses at the rim, long three. They get out in transition. You know, I think the biggest sign for me was when I think we missed one at the rim. Cade comes down, hits a knockdown three, and then that's the momentum swing. Coming out into the third, I thought we did a decent job defensively. We just couldn't find the basket, couldn't put it in the hole. And I think that was a big portion of it right there, too.
Coach, what was your message to your team there post-game?
Gratitude. Gratitude. You got to understand, everything that's happened with these guys this year, they've always found a way. Never made excuses. Never pointed, blamed. They found a way to come together in moments when we needed to get things done. And win or lose, it's not about that always. It's just about how they keep finding ways to battle within games. And it's not always pretty, but for me, it was just the gratitude of being able to coach these guys, for 82 plus. Be able to do the right thing by them to make sure that they're putting themselves in their best position to be successful overall.
You guys have been in this Game 7 before. You guys have been through playoff battles. Is there frustration that after 3 tries you guys haven't?
No. We're not doing that.
Not doing that.
I hear, there's time, and I'm going to continue to say it's the gratitude of being able to be in these moments. We'll sit back and reflect on things that we can change and do differently, and I get that, but in this moment, being able to be in a Game 7, the appreciation that we have for these guys, they've fought and battled, and it didn't go our way. And there's a lot of things that we can look at technically, but at the end of the day, Detroit found a way to get the job done. So, credit to them for what they done and the way they got the job done. But again, it's for these guys, just being able to coach them, for 82 plus has been great.
Paolo again was spectacular. Just what more have you learned about him throughout these times in this moment like this?
Playoffs. He finds a way to turn up another level. I think that's been big for him. I think his ability to put the ball in the hole, create, things like that have been big. His aggression, his will to want to go get the game. I think those are important pieces. And so, yeah, he's found a way in these big games. He did the same thing last game 7 we played. The last year, the one close game we had, he got in foul trouble, so he wasn't able to do those things. But he finds a way to try to get the job done.
You went a little deeper into your bench, brought Mo out. Javon played a little bit. Was that just searching for some energy, for a little bit of spark, knowing how?
No, this is the chess match of the playoffs. The rotations. Notice Paolo's rotation was a little differently. So having bodies in those moments to be able to go when Cade's not on the floor. Again, give credit. Tobias had an unbelievable game. He had been doing a decent job for the most part, but then, he turned up tonight. And then, those are things that you got to figure out as the game goes on. Those guys stepped up.
Jalen Suggs had struggled with his shot through most of this series. What did you say to him? I know he takes these kinds of losses really very hard, and has a lot of love for his teammates and for this organization.
Yeah.
But what did you say to him, to console him or help guide him through some of those struggles in this series?
The same thing. You talk about just continuing to focus on how you can keep getting better. And I think him being and how much he cares about his group, how much he cares about his teammates. He wants to do the right thing at all times. His energy, his passion, his care, his focus on making his teammates better, but also being the right type of teammate. And that's what he wants to do. So that's what we continue to hone in on, is that's what he is for his teammates night in and night out.
Just reflecting on the season as a whole, what are you going to remember most about this team?
I think the way we found a way to bounce back, despite everything going on. I mean, it would have been easy to cave in moments when you don't have certain bodies down. But like I told the guys before the game, we've been in situations like this before. We did come in here in the Cup game and win. We did come in here and win Game 1. We did go out to other cities and win with bodies down. So letting them understand how capable they are, no matter what cards are stacked, whatever's stacked against you, that you've got to continue to pull together and do it the right way, do it for each other. But being able to coach these guys in all these moments has been a blessing, to be able to see them grow. And again, Game 7s, how many people can say they've been in them? How many people can say they've won them? I mean, the ability to get these experiences with the 6th youngest team in the NBA says something. And so that's going to go on to learn from these moments and these experiences. And you leave those guys out there, so you feel that. You feel what's happening, because they fought to the end. And that ability to do that shows up how you have to play damn near 82 games in order to get to this position.
You've been on this journey with a lot of the players in this group for the last 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Like, where do you see this team kind of continuing to grow? Just looking back on where a lot of these guys started with you to now.
You watch it. I mean, it's been absolutely an amazing journey with these guys. Their ability to grow, communicate, and that's what from the moment is like, we're going to be a defensive team, we're going to be a together team, we're going to communicate to each other, we're going to fight till the final horn goes off. And that's what you've seen for a majority of the 5 years. The growth of each guy, their leadership, their communication, them talking to each other, the care factor. It's not going to always show up in the wins and losses, but you can see the growth in their ability to communicate with each other. And I think that's just the job of young men, to be able to communicate with each other at a high level, to hold each other accountable, to look in the mirror when things don't go your way. And we had a lot of that this year. We had to look in the mirror and see what we can do differently. And that's what I've seen over the 5 years, other than, guys getting what they need to be able to take care of their families. That's been a beautiful thing to see. The guys that we brought in, they've been able to be in this blessed situation to take care of those around them. And I think this organization has done a great job of that. Our fans have done a great job of supporting these guys through all of it. And I think that's just what is the beauty of this game of basketball, and then being, the head coach of the Orlando Magic.
Apologies if this was asked. We had a live shot.
That's okay.
But this team's now 1-7 in the playoffs when Paolo crosses the 30-point mark. Why do you think that is, and how does that happen?
That's a very good question. I haven't really sat and reflected on that as much. I think part of it is, he's doing a lot. I think that's a key piece of him doing a lot in those moments, and just making sure that we just continue to keep the balance through all of it. And I think that's very important. But it's what he's trying to do to make sure guys are, in the right spot, doing what's necessary to put points on the board. I think that's been big, distributing, getting guys involved. And we'll go back and look at the film in those situations and see, what can be different, what we can look at. But again, you got to give Detroit a ton of damn credit. They got the top defense in the league, as well as in these playoffs, and so they don't make it easy. They take certain things away that's very tough. So they force the hand of P having to do a lot more.
Thank you.
Thank you all. I appreciate you guys too. Thank you guys. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yep.
Well, it's never easy to address the media after a Game 7 defeat like that, and Jamahl Mosley just did. Look, he complimented Paolo, talked about what he's done in the postseason. The fact is, Antonio, when we look at the Magic, heading into the season, a lot of people thought they could be a top 4 or 5 team in the Eastern Conference. They didn't meet that bar. They surprised a lot of people with how they started this series. Ultimately, the goal was not to be a first-round exit back in October. When you think about the Magic, without getting too far into the weeds, but how you would categorize where they stand off this and what ultimately led to them not coming out on top with this series, how do you put it in perspective?
Well, first and foremost, I love that presser by Jamahl Mosley, because I know we live in such a competitive atmosphere and environment. The NBA is just that. But he talked about gratitude, right? He talked about blessing. He talked about accountability, all the different things and different words that you need to preach with a young basketball team. But the brutal reality of this is you're talking about these after a Game 7 loss. And that's not easy. That is not an easy thing to do. So now the question that you ask yourself is, where do the Orlando Magic go from here? I don't know if there's anything more important in the playoffs than health. And here's the thing. We don't know. We don't know if Franz Wagner would have made a difference, how much of a difference he would have made. Jonathan Isaac with his length, his athleticism, his ability to influence shots. This is a young basketball team. They're very talented. They have very, very similar skill sets with their stars with Paolo Banchero and also with Franz Wagner. I don't know where they go from here. I mean, this is not a team that needs to hang their head. They fought through adversity all year long because they had players in and out the lineup all year long. And I agree with what Jamahl Mosley said. When you're going through things like this, you have to understand the gratitude of the moment, realize the blessing that you're playing in, but also understand individually you need to improve for this team to improve collectively.
And Paolo Banchero continues to show us signs. It's not like there's nothing to work with in Orlando. They're better than an 8 seed. They showed it in this series. But they've got some difficult discussions to have down there if they want to make that ascent in an Eastern Conference that has shown that it is very much wide open. Paolo Banchero right after the break here.